Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Josip Kovaček and I will give you a session about ELK from zero to hero. So to start with, I work for King ICT company. I'm Java developer there. And let's start with cleaning the meaning of the name. So idea came when I was fixing some issue that required scrolling gigabytes of logs, and it was months worth of data, and I was feeling a bit like zero. And I thought, hey, maybe if I could visualize somehow those data, I might be a hero. And a friend stopped by and said coding class hero. And of course I included that, and thanks to him, the session got named. Let me just switch back to PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, so if you come here for ELK, I must apologize. ELK is no more. You can go free. It got renamed a few weeks ago to Elasticstack. And how this happened? Actually, when company first started, it was just this first component, Elasticsearch, and later they added more and more components, and they coined the term ELK. ELK was animal, funny animal with horns, and more recently they added more components, and we got this image from ELK, so it's a flying bee something. And the good guys from Elastic said, we need to stop this stupidity. Let's just call it Elasticstack to be more stable. But name ELK still stick, so I'll use it interchangeably. So for today's agenda, before you fall asleep, we will try to say something about logs. I'll try to show you that logs are actually hidden gold mine and are often left behind, but they are very, very valuable. We will try to show that Elasticstack has a number of Lego bricks. I like Lego bricks term because modularity of Elasticstack. And we'll show how to connect those Lego bricks together in various ways, and how to use them how to upgrade them for monitoring and alerting purposes. So if you're maybe not interested in all of these topics, go grab a snack or take a quick nap, maybe just time yourself well, so you don't miss a thing. So this is log, okay? One log entry, and how much value in this? Okay, here we have some kind of timestamp at the beginning, date and time. This is actually IP address and something that looks like username. And here is some action and search parameters. So how much value in this? And how much more value in thousands of those log lines, or maybe millions and gigabytes of worth of data. And what could we extract from those data? Could this answer questions like who are my users, and what are they searching for, what are their interests, where they come from, and what are busiest application time? Might be, and we shall see. There is an old proverb that says one man's trash is another man's treasure. It might be the same with logs, but we should see for ourselves. So if there is so much value in those logs, we should just use them and get more logs and profit, right? Let's see how is this in reality. Okay, danger, wall of text ahead. Where is Voda? This is what I ask myself when I need to scroll gigabytes of data. You know Voda. It's a picture with many persons in some square or place, and you try to find specific person. This is called Voda. So that's the feeling that I have when I need to scroll so much logs. And it might be easy to find Voda or specific information when it's a single instance. Okay, only one log file, I'll preferably open it up in a mighty notepad, Windows notepad, or if you're more geeky with grep, and try to find required data. But what if data is on multiple instances and in cluster environment and it's scattered across many log files? Then, my friend, may the force be with you. Okay, finding okay, back to Voda. This is the picture I was referencing. Hopefully you know Voda. It's a fun little game. So it might be a real challenge to find information when, for example, customer says, I have a feeling that from last few weeks application runs slower. Now you have to prove this, and you scroll gigabytes of logs data, and it's not easy challenge. And how to fix this? How to help ourselves? By the way, if anyone found Voda, please you can raise your hand. Back to logs. What if instead of scrolling those gigabytes of logs data, we could scroll them preferably at night, so it hurts less your eyes. What if we could put it into something more human friendly, and where you can see required information in blink of an eye? Okay, let's deal with this idea somewhere. Now let me ask you a question if you are still awake. How many of you uses Elastic for some kind of project monitoring or maybe getting value from logs? You can raise your hands freely. Okay, interesting. And how about alternatives like Greylog, Splunk, Grafana, Graffiti? Okay, so there is hope. There is hope. Why Elastic? Why Elastic Stack? Well, it provides good value for a company. It actually saves time and money, and provides value for the whole team. And you can also include customer, if you want, of course, to show him some nice visualizations, and he might get interested. I like the modularity of Elastic Stack. I say like bricks. You can connect those components in many ways that best suits you. And it can be configured to monitor your endpoints, except your application logs. It can monitor also integration points, maybe with other systems. If you need to provide some SLA numbers, how was the system availability. And nice thing about ELK is alerting. So you monitor something, and something goes wild, goes offline, goes crazy slow, and ELK can alert your team, hey, something is happening, please, it's better that you check this out before your customers start calling in. Always better if you can fix it before. ELK stack is consisted of many applications, but there are some that core team provides, and the rest is community additions, and this is power of ELK. Lots of people adding stuff. So there are, for example, components that ship data. They are those on the left, and there are some components that parse data, so it has nice structure, and components that store this data and save it for later visualizations. That's the basic idea, and it's very good to know that although Elastic Stack provides all those components, you don't have to use all of them. You can mix, add something else to this stack. It's up to you. Maybe you don't need anything from this. Maybe some just visualizations. In this case, you would need Elasticsearch because it's the core part that stores. It's a database. For data shippers, there are little components that have one single purpose and do this one thing well. Get the data from your system and deliver it somewhere, whatever you want. Usually Elasticsearch. So, for example, let's say you manage to get your data from logs, and now somehow logs stopped coming in. So what are you gonna do? There is a component, it's called metric bit, that checks your system information. Maybe it's your disk full, maybe it's traffic down. So you can fast check out what's happening without SSHing into your machine. Maybe it's a network congestion or some other network problems. In this case, packet bit is your winner. There's also a Windows event log shipper, and of course, to monitor endpoints, there is heartbeat component. And there's much more, like 60 plus additional components, monitor and ship anything from anywhere. For example, they have Twitter bit, get Twitter data directly for some search parameter and store it and visualize it. Pretty cool. Here's for another very interesting component from stack. It's called Logdash, and this beast that parses your data. It has built-in regexes, so you don't have to bother writing them. It provides most common regexes, about hundreds of them. And nice thing is it uses aliases for those regexes, so it's pretty powerful. You just call them by aliases, no need to look for walls of regexes. You know how regexes can look complicated. It's also good for adding additional value. For example, I showed you log1, and there was IP address. Logdash is smart, it can connect those IP addresses with geolocation data, and you can build nice map from where are your customers coming from. It's also useful for anonymizing data. Maybe you have in your log data some things that shouldn't end in visualizations or at customer site, like credit card numbers or some other sensitive data. Logdash can remove it or mask it with some parameters. And about Elasticsearch, it's the core component. It's the heart of the whole operation. And let's see, it's fast, it's RESTful, it's scalable, it's reliable. It's Java, guys. Pure Java on site, and all the major players on the scene, for example, I know GitHub, Slack, eBay, are using it for their very good performance. Here's for the visualizing tool that's built in on top of Elasticsearch. It's here so you don't have to write your own queries, it's cumbersome. Instead you just say I want this data, click, 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 and it hops up. It has pre-built visualizations. For example, I need a log graph, I need pie chart, I need, I don't know, some table data. It's already built in, you just use it. Now let me ask you, what do you think, how long would it take to make such a dashboard on the background of the page? So there are like 10 or more visualizations. There are some numbers, then there is how much traffic was going in. At the end of the page we see heat map that's from visitors who visited this site. How long would it take? Is it days, months, minutes, probably not months, okay? Good thing is you can export dashboards, you can share them, you can import them into your Kibana system. And so it takes moments, actually. If you have same log format, and it's standard log format that you have on Apache server, you just import it and data is there for you to analyze. So for the setup part, now let me make you fall asleep. Some configurations, okay? You can download components manually and play with them, and this is good for starting up. So you'll get a feeling of how are they talking to each other and how to configure them. You can also install them as a service when you feel more confident, so system takes care of starting them and running them, and they are more stable that way. And of course you can download a Docker image where is already everything pre-built and configured. And my friend actually showed me this nice way, and it speeds things nicely. Everything's already set up, you just say where to get files and where to ship them. And this example Logdash configuration, I won't cover all other configuration files because there is no need, it's just same pattern. And here, for example, for Logdash it actually says, tell me what you need, I'll take care of everything else. For example, for input you would say where are your log files, and for output you would say push that to Elastic and maybe filter something. That's for the configuration. One thing that I thought might be worth mentioning is template. Bit template, it was a little abstract for me when I first started playing with Elastic. It would go like this. You provide log files and you start all the components and you start shaking your hands, opening champagne. You are hoping for visualizations to come up on the screen. You open your Kibana component, that's for visual tool. And then Kibana slaps you, hey, you haven't defined default index pattern. And then you're stuck and you want to throw Kibana out of the window or something. And you Google a little bit and Google says, yeah, if you use a Logdash component, then you need to tell Elastic about your data representation. And it's not really something complicated, just interesting that Kibana didn't put that info instead of slapping you with, hey, I don't know, for your index pattern. And here's an example table with, so components store data into Elastic. That's because it's database actually behind it. And it's very practical for other components to store data there. For monitoring, I already mentioned you can check your endpoints, integration endpoints. You can monitor system performance counters for database and hosting system. There's also nice Spring Boot actuator plugin, and you can monitor that and see health of your application. Pretty cool. And before we go to alerting, I would like to break a little bit. I probably put you to sleep already. Let's try if this works. Okay, so I connected to the demo page of the Elastic, and here we can see things from the first hand. Okay, this is Apache log, default server log, and some metrics, okay? Here it says popularity of the operating systems that were connecting to it, and where are users coming from. So it thinks that America is most popular. Let's see about Croatia. How good are we? Oops. So when you click something, it switches itself to show only those metrics, and graphs should update to it. Maybe it didn't get my intention. Okay, So let's see what people in Croatia use. It seems that Linux and iOS are most popular devices that connected to this page. Okay. I could show you other dashboards. For example, there is a dashboard for MySQL performance. So you can export these dashboards and import them into your own Kibana and get visualizations nice and fast. So here we see some database performance queries that were running. Were they slow? Were they problematic? And that's for the Kibana. So dashboards is consisted of those visualizations. Okay, maybe somewhere you can also check for how long you want, how long ago you want your data. We could switch, let's say, for last 12 hours, and you get fresh data, more active data. You can create those visualizations by yourself. So here's an example. Okay, these are templates that you can use. Maybe you can start with line chart or pie chart data table. You can't go wrong with those. There is some semantic, which one is better for what, but let's not go into these details. So for a line example chart, I don't know, maybe we could show how much free memory system was having. In that case, I would use a metric bit since it shows metrics about system. Okay. And now, how to do that? I need some average value about on. Now you need to know how is free memory code in this index pattern. You know, like English. System memory, actual free, and let's see what Kibana does. Let's play this, and we got nice dot. So what's happening? It says, okay, in some point it was having so much free memory, but it's one point in time. So let's set for x-axis, let's set date histogram to get something more relevant for last 12 hours. And now we have system was consistent. It was having same value all the time. So not much load from application. Okay, that's just an example, and you can add more visualizations by itself, or you can hack visualizations here. Let's see also an example. Maybe it was MySQL. Okay. So you see nice graph and want to make one yourself. How you do it? Let's hack Kibana graphs. Okay, this is unique visitors and usually graphs. Okay, let's take this one. Hourly pattern. You have this little arrow, you click it and it shows table data. It's now much more sophisticated, and Kibana slaps some nice visualization on top, so it looks impressive. That's all I wanted to show for Kibana. Back to our application. So the sweetest part is, of course, alerting. So we don't have to look all the time at graphs and hoping something will pop up. Elastic team added alerting as a part of the family a few months ago, and it's a commercial product, and it's a beast. It includes security roles and pretty much everything. They have machine learning in there, pretty heavy stuff, and it's commercial. So if you need to provide only alerting, you can go with some free alternatives like Elastic Alert. So Elastic Alert, it's a battle hardened and production ready component from Yelp. Yelp is some company, and how it works. You have alerts and you have rows, And if data that you provide to Elastic matches these rules, and rules can be, okay, something has happened and it shouldn't be here, or we were expecting something but it didn't arrive, or some value went too high, okay. It can be frequency, spike type. And if it matches this rule, then Elast alert creates alert. Alert can be email, Jira, issue, Slack, something. And for example, here is why you not listen me? Here is example configuration for Elast alert rule. Rules are already there. You just need to modify your data. For example, on this one, I said, okay, if in 4 hours time frame you receive more than 10 HTTP 500 events, then please call the team and they should investigate. And of course, there comes Slack notification and some additional information so the team can check this up. Conclusion, there are many benefits from using Elastic and few drawbacks. It's a free solution, mainly free solution, and you can get a bigger picture from it. It's enterprise friendly. Okay. Here are some latest trends. Elasticsearch is the blue one and it challenged the biggest one, Graphite. And Graphite seems to notice this and wake up from slacking. And over to you guys.